to get aggressive, they will put handcuffs on you.
I was getting your attention. I did this. I was tapping your arm with my elbow. And you went like that.
I had told you on more than one occasion that I wasn't putting the volume down.
Well, you know what? I kept asking because it was driving me crazy.
When the teacher says something, she's the boss of you and you
Shut up! Give me a turn to speak! Fine, see? You do that to me! How's it feel? How's it feel to be told to shut up?
Are you recording, Crickshaw?
Get your ass up!
We call ourselves Phenomenova. Yesterday, the Stormbearers, a deadly group of mercenaries, took control of a nuclear reactor. Before we arrived on the scene, Galvanite, a superpowered teenage boy, attempted to stop them. He failed. His story ended there that day. Ours began shortly after. Today, I sift through the memories of that day. I will put the pieces together, and we will bring those responsible to justice.
My name is Miles Hanksley. I am Galvanite. My names are synonymous with failure because that's all they know. They don't know how hard I've worked since the reactor. Today, I will prove that I'm not a failure. I am worthy of joining Phenomenova.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Someone says, what's the future? Vaughn Coleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I was originally going to do it and was going to record in my normal spot, but I'm like, I kind of liked sitting out on the porch. I felt like just chilling out, relaxing, and hanging with you guys. It's been a hell of a month, and I'm finally I've done work today. I'm finally going to take the rest of the night off, which is really just normal. So can you guys hear me okay? Oh, wait, hold on. I got my mic here. You guys hear me okay? Yeah. I figured I'd smoke a cigar. And I was like, might as well fire up a live stream. And I don't know what I'm going to do, how I'm going to relax. I might watch Invincible. I got to catch up on it. I watched the first 30 minutes or 20 to 30 minutes of episode 1. And then I disasters had work that needed to be done. What's up, Selena? Yeah, so this is... I will say that. So we started off the month. Happy Valley was a slow show. But I had fun. Because it was slow, I got to hang out with V a bit, Vika and Marion. So that was fun. And then the next week, it was total opposite. In one single day, I had the best single sales day I had ever had, at least at that time. I'm probably past it by now, which is crazy. All right, you hear the birds? Yeah. Oh, there's my cat. Is she going to come in a frame? She's looking at me. Hey, Viv. Yeah, so I've been doing basically the most sales I've ever done at cons this month. Also, the most traveling I've ever done, period. It's been crazy. The most driving I've ever done. It's been nuts. It's been a lot, but I've enjoyed it. I've had a lot of fun. It made me want to explore more of the country, but I think in total I passed through 11 different states. So I started off, I went to New Jersey. Let's see, did I have to go through anything to get to Virginia? I think so. Hey, Viv, you want to say hi to the cat? Nope. She just wants to hold on. My cat. There she is. Hey, Viv. You want to say hi to... Nope, she just wants to pass under my legs. All right. Well, Hail, Phenomenal over 3 was great. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Yeah, no, I think it's my best work. So that was back-to-back victories. It was MegaCon. Then I get back, and immediately I'm seeing people are getting their books. That was great. So more people are reading Phenomenova than ever, and I'm very happy about that. I'm really happy about it. And it's super exciting, honestly. It's genuinely I can't tell you how special it is to have so many people just checking out your book from all over, and more and more people want it. My online sales are up. Things are going really well, dude. So anyway, best sales day I had ever had. One of the best cons, but not the best con, was the Anime Fest Reading. So I'm definitely going to do more of those shows. And then after that, after the 2 Pennsylvania shows, I get ready for the long trip because I'm like, okay, I got to go to Washington, D.C. Now, that could be an easy there and back, but the next week is MegaCon. Washington, D.C. is 4 hours that way for me. So I'm like, well, that's 4 hours into a Florida drive. Let me drive the rest of the way. Now, I'm debating if I'd do that again. It wasn't that bad, actually. It wasn't that bad. But it was great, So I just got another text of a family member saying they read Phenomenal. So, yeah, everyone's liking issue 3. So I go to the Butt Sauce house, and then from there, we hang out that night, we get ready, and then The first Friday, he's not able to make it on Friday. It's a 3-day show. So it's just me. And that first day of the show, I'm like, wow, I'm actually doing pretty well sales-wise. Now, again, the week prior, I had the single best sales day. So it didn't quite match that. But I'm like, okay, I'm doing well. Then by day 2, we have Butt Sauce is there. And by the way, with Awesome Con, I am literally right next to Paul Thayer, Project Novices. Total coincidence. I turn around, he's right behind me. We were back to back. So that was pretty cool. Both had corner booths. Then you had Stokes. He's a good guy. Stokes, the writer. He was within eye shot. And a lot of people. Awesome Con was great. And we got 2. We had Butt Sauce there. I was staying at his house, commuting each way. And now I want to point out, at this point in the trip, actually, I did have some car problems, come to think of it. So I took my mom's car instead of my car because my car was – I wanted to bring a shitload of stuff just in case. So that way there was no possibility that I guess there's always a possibility that I could sell out. But just so I could sell as much as possible and transport as much as possible, which I did sell a lot. I sold, I think, most of my stuff or a decent portion of it. I sold a lot. Sold a lot of it. At least my issue 1. Maybe not most of my issue 3, because most people buy issue 1, just issue 1. So anyway, I'm going through, and I noticed there were some car problems before, but it was nothing that big of a deal. And then, as the second day, I start getting these warnings on my car. Now, the second day also happened to be the day that Bat Sauce got in my car. Now, I'm not saying that it's related, but I'm not saying it's not. You know, he could have had a role in it. He could have had a role in the issues with the car. It was functioning fine, but I didn't. There were multiple warning signs. I'm like, all right, this is going to be a problem. So then, my plan was I was going to start driving on Sunday and then finish the drive on Saturday. But I decided to rest Sunday, and as we're driving back for Sunday, I get a call from Patrick. And by the way, as I'm driving home for Sunday, Bats is lecturing me about the entire Dragon Ball Z lore. Now, keep in mind, I know absolutely nothing about Dragon Ball. Now I know stuff, but I guess, because he was telling me every little detail about Dragon Ball, and just for an hour-long drive. And then we get a call from Patrick, who's like, yeah, we got some problems with the booth. I'm like, what do you mean? Got some problems with the MegaCon booth. He's like, yeah, there were some issues. It was outside of us, but we were supposed to get this really nice red carpet spot. It was because we had an art rep or something involved. Point is, things were iffy. We ended up getting in. It wasn't the spot we had initially planned. Now, here's the thing. I would have been fine with any spot. MegaCon is a notoriously hard show to get into. It's a really tough show to get into. And so, I was happy just to be there, but it was because I had printed an amount expecting to be in a certain spot, which was near Eric actually, but center of the convention where I'd get the most foot traffic. I had printed a certain amount and I had put in a certain amount of money. Now we're getting that back. That's fine. And I'm still, listen, worst case scenario, I have other stuff to sell and I have plenty of conventions. That just means, because I looked at my profit margins. I'm like, oh, I'm doing good. They put me in a different spot that meant, so because of that, the bleed over wasn't as much, but it was still constant foot traffic. And I was still looking at my sales and I'm like, this is the best sales I've done. So Awesome Con had been the best overall con I'd done sales wise. Immediately topped it with MegaCon. Then comes Lexington. We'll get to that. But MegaCon was a really good time. Let's talk about the road to MegaCon. What's up, Phil? How was C2E2? So anyway, getting back, we're in the car and so we're back at Awesome Con. So I get this news. It ended up working out, but I'm at this time, I'm am I even going to be able to table at MegaCon? I'm no, I've been listening to the Gospels a lot, honestly. Well, I finished reading the Gospels, listening to an audiobook, and I was going through the New Testament, whatever, And honestly, I'm you know what, God's got my back, right? This is bullshit. All the car stuff back to back with the MegaCon table situation. I'm you know what? Put your faith to God. I believe things are going to be okay. Everything's going to work. What's going on, Jim Alaska? What's going on? So we have these problems, but I'm gonna work. But I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stop at the Bat Cave, Bat Sauce's house. C2E2 was amazing, best con so far. That's awesome, dude. It was there were 4 major cons that weekend, and we'll get into one of them because my con I wasn't able to go to C2E2 because of Lexington. That was my best con I've ever done. Amazing. All right, so back to this. Okay, so I'm like confused now. Bats has been trying to get me to watch Hunter x Hunter. So immediately after lecturing me about Dragon Ball for a fucking hour, an hour in the car about Dragon Ball, he goes, we're going to watch Hunter x Hunter. You know what? Just because these car problems, you should stay the night and then check it out with a mechanic in the morning. So I'm like, all right, shit. Guess that means we're going to have to get a motel. It's going to extend my trip. I'll make it work, but I knew it was going to take a bit longer than I thought. So I'm like, all right, fucking whatever. I stay, and Bats has imprisoned me now and forced me as a hostage to watch Hunter x Hunter with his wife. Or Hunter x Hunter. And I'm like, all right. Now, I was enjoying it, but I do think it was a deliberate situation. I think he sabotaged my car to force me to watch Hunter x Hunter. I do think that happened. So the next day I get up, we're out, and we start heading. I start heading to. Oh, right as I'm about to head to the mechanic, I'm told, oh, there's like tornado warnings. This is a bad day to drive. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? They're like, oh, well, maybe I can, if I start now, I can get out of the way of it. No, actually, you'd be driving in the direction of the storm. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So now I have this car is busted as fuck. The table is up in the air if I'm even going to be able to table at MegaCon, and I'm driving into a storm. And I'm behind schedule. I'm like, fuck. But I'm like, Jesus, take the wheel. So I go to the mechanic. I don't think that's a good idea. I do not think that's a good idea. So I go, and they basically check it out, and they're like, oh, it's probably just a small engine thing. You'll be able to do fine. I'm like, good, because I have like a 10-plus hour drive. Better be okay. So I start driving. I'm driving through the South, and the South. Now, here's the thing. As a Northerner, I've been raised on anti-South propaganda my entire life. You know, oh, the dumb Southerners, unlike us superior New Jersey individuals, you know, they were on the wrong. They like the slavery, whatever. That's the shit we were taught in school. They're like, oh, they're always making excuses for whatever the fuck. Doesn't matter. So we're going through. I go through Virginia, pass through North Carolina, South Carolina. I don't think I really stopped in any of those states. I think I just kept going. Oh, there was a Black Rifle coffee shop in Virginia that I stopped at. Loaded up on energy drinks. One of them fucking exploded in the. I don't know how the fuck that happened, but one of the like energy drinks exploded in the fridge at MegaCon. I'm gonna blame Sammy 3P, even though it's probably not his fault. So anyway, I was driving down. It was actually like pretty enjoyable, and I finished listening. I was listening to a lot of the New Testament stuff. That was fun. That's really most of what I was doing, was just listening to New Testament. But every once in a while, like as much as I like it, it's like, all right, Paul, this is like the 80th letter I've read of yours. Yeah, I'm going to take a break because a lot of it is just letters from Paul, the apostle. Anyway, so I'm driving. It's pretty good. And I start seeing these ads. This is for Buc-ee's. Now, I've never had Buc-ee's. But this is like the way they hype this place up is insane. They're like, it's coming! And it's like 2 states away. It's probably not actually that, but I'm like, holy shit. Like, why? This is the most hyped up place of it. And I'm like, what is it? Like, what is it just food? It turns out it's like a massive gas station food market. It's actually pretty cool. But so I'm finally like, all right, I got to at least stop at one Buc-ee's. So I did manage to, like, I get to the very end of Georgia. So I drove through in one day, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. I get it in Georgia, and then I'm like, all right, let me find a near motel. And I end up crossing over to Florida, and I end the day at the top of Florida, but I'm like, oh, God, I can't drive another 5 hours. Like, I had like 5 extra hours because I was heading to my mom's place, which is like south toward the bottom of Florida, and I'm at the very top. And I'm like, all right, motel time. So I'll get a little motel. Finish the drive tomorrow. I finished the drive in the morning. Car situation, explaining to my mom. And yeah, so that is a thing. And then we immediately have to get that taken care of. So we decide that because my mom wants to be safe, we're going to switch the car out with her car in Florida. And so we switch all the stuff out. That eats up a lot of my time. And the car's not going to be ready in time, so I'm taking hers to Orlando. I'm taking hers to fucking Orlando. And the whole trip, it's like exit, 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 exit. There's like always an exit to turn off if I ever need to, right? Fucking the one. Suddenly, there's this sound I'm hearing when I'm driving the car, like something's kind of like moving. I'm like, that's fucking. Why is it? What's happening? And then so this thing starts like this. You know how there's like these flabs, kind of between the window and the side view mirrors, like these like stripes almost. It just comes off and it's flapping now, and I'm like, ah, shit. So now I'm like, all right, well, I'll just turn off the exit. Where is the exit? And now I'm like, where the fuck is the exit? Several minutes pass. Where is the exit? This whole goddamn time there's been and it's like the one time I'm in bumfuck nowhere where there's no exit. And I'm like, shit. So I'm like holding it in place. I'm like getting the slower lane. Where is it? Oh, and then finally, after several minutes, next exit in 9 miles. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So I pull over, I explain the situation to my mom, and I end up duct taping it in place. This nice guy at the gas station lends me like one of his last bits of tape because they're sold out. And if they were completely out of tape, I would, thank God. They tape it up, and now we're on the road again. I get to MegaCon. I said, by this time, I've gotten the good news that we have a place in I think I got it that morning because I'm like, I'm going to MegaCon one way or another. I'll barge my way. God damn it. We got a place in Artist Alley. It was fine. It was actually a nice place, but it's just the convention center itself was so confusing for people. You know, there's so much shit to do. I was actually not that far from Eric either. People could not figure it out. The layout, I guess. I don't know. To me, it was easy, but it was also, of course, I knew where my fucking table was. So anyway, we're there. And I set up. Patrick's already there. I have to load my stuff out. I'm like barely getting there in time. I haven't even checked into my hotel yet. The loading dock has just closed, but there's like an hour-long window. So we're like near the loading dock. Or I should say the loading dock is closed, but you can't drive right up to it. You could drive near it. So I'm manually lugging all my shit in. Luckily, you open the door and like my table was right there. So it wasn't that long of a walk. But I'm manually bringing fucking everything. I have my hand truck here, drop all my stuff off. And I'm like kind of starting to set up. And then they're like, all right, things closed. You got to get out. So, okay, I have to finish tomorrow morning. So I do. I decide to go set up my hotel. And I'm like, all right. Waking up early, and we're going to finish this up tomorrow. Things are going to be good. First day of the con, it's kind of weird. So I have never, normally like there's a morning rush, but you have to understand in a con like MegaCon or whatever, the morning rush is people going to their celebrities or the celebrity artists or whatever. They're not going to you. They're not just browsing, so I understand that. But it was like the first 2 hours of the con, it's like fucking nothing. And I'm like, shit. Because a 2-hour VIP period is insane. And I'm like, oh, God. This sucks. And then immediately after like 2 o'clock, I start getting sales. I'm like, oh, okay, we're cooking. So we're good. As soon as the normies start walking in, we're good. And from there, I'm like, oh, shit. Well, because I spend money on a hotel. I'm like, I got to keep going, keep getting stuff. And I'm looking at my sales. I'm like, holy shit, this is good. This is really good. Thursday was pretty good. It was a little slow, but it was still like, even slow for MegaCon is still better than a lot of cons. So I all things considered, I did pretty well. Friday was pretty good. Saturday was really good. And Sunday was the slowest day. To be fair, it was the slowest day for me because I had gotten up from a night of drinking in the morning. And even Patrick was like, dude, you're not pitching as well. You're so low energy. Like, hey, I got some comics. I'm not full energy at that point. But overall, I sold pretty well at MegaCon. You know, I'm happy with how I did, and I was able to you know, show some people my books. It was really good. It was a really good show and great for networking. Got to finally meet Andrew from Rippaverse and Caro. They were great. We had dinner at one point on Friday. Friday was insane. It was like there was like 3 different dinners or like 4 different events. Like, Vaughn, hang out. Like, it was Chrissy Mayer wanted me to come to her thing. Then like the Orlando crew wanted me to come to her thing. Travis Gibb wanted me to come to dinner with like a creators dinner. And then there was like the Rippaverse stuff. It was a lot. So I was like, shit, group A, B, C, D, fuck. I don't know what to do. I'm like, there's 4 days. Why does it have to be the same night? But it was fun. It ended up working out. I ended up hanging out with pretty much everyone I got. There were some people I wasn't able to, but it's just such a massive show. You just can't. You know, you just can't. Thursday was good. Thursday we went to the Ice Bar. That was a cool bar. It was a lot of fun. Then you had Saturday was the FNT meetup. That was a lot of fun, and we all hung out there. Good time. And then Sunday was just kind of Sunday. I got invited on Simcast. Chrissy was like, "You want to come to Simcast?" I'm like, "Yeah." Then the loading out procedure took way too long, so it was like an hour late for Simcast. And then I finally get back to my goddamn room, and Sammy 3-Pete is snoring like crazy. I'm like, shit. I can't record in here. At this point, I haven't even really looked at my laptop, so I haven't even connected to the hotel Wi-Fi. So I'm like, all right, shit. Iron Oxide and I were looking for like a quiet place so I can get into Simcast to set up my laptop. And I'm like, fuck, is there a conference room or something? Or like a back hallway? Got to be something. So we find something, and the computer won't connect. The hotel Wi-Fi just will not connect. It just will not. And I'm like, shit. So Iron takes out his phone, and we set up like a hotline. I don't know, something with his phone, gets the internet working. We're good. I get in there, and then Chrissy immediately this beeping starts. I'm like, oh God, am I already causing problems? She mutes me. I mute myself. It's not me. It's actually her. She has to leave within like minutes. And so we're like, oh, fuck, what do we do? It's me and Mike Harlow, and Drew Outstanding. We have to hold down the fort. You could watch the stream. And we did. We held down the fort. And everyone in the chat started going, this isn't Simcast anymore. This is Pimpcast. So now Pimpcast has been born. Our first episode of Pimpcast is going to be on Thursday. Me, Mike Harlow, Drew Outstanding. Everyone go check out Mike Harlow's channel. We're going to be doing Pimpcast. So that was just completely an unplanned thing. That was so much fun. We're 100% doing it. Oh, my God. Then Sunday, I get up and I drive to Florida. And now we're back to the fresh hell that is the car situation. Holy shit, I'm just remembering I still have even more work to do. That's enough, though. I've done enough. I'm taking the rest of the day off. But I do have more work to do. And that's when I finally finish editing my issue. Or no, it wasn't then. I'm like, all right, I put some touches on my issue 4 trailer, my issue 4 campaign. Because I'm like, I want to do my pre-launch. And I'm immediately getting news on the car. It's like, this is going to be tough. We might not be able to get you to Lexington. I'm like, I'm getting to that show. The car's still in the thing. I'm getting to that show. Well, it might take a little. I'm getting there. So we figure it out. My mom says now, I'm like, all right, we'll figure it out. Don't worry. Come on, Jesus. Pull through. And then I'm like, all right, well, we might have to get a later start to the day. So we do end up getting a later start to the day. The car doesn't come in until later, which means I'm a bit behind on my drive. I can't drive as many hours as I was hoping, but that's okay. I was doing some work in the meantime. So I do some work. I get some pages in. Things are good for my artist. And from there, we start driving. And I'm like, all right, I can't get to Macon. Like, my plan was to get to Macon that night. That didn't happen, but I go as far as I can. I get pretty far into Georgia that day. Right? I think, no, wait. Is that what? No, that's not what happened. I get pretty far. Do I get into Georgia my first day? No, I think I get into northern Florida again. I'm trying to remember what was my first. Did I get to Georgia or did I just get high up in Florida? I don't remember. I think I might have just gotten into Florida. Because Florida's a fucking huge state, dude. So I do some driving. Glad you're okay, Vaughn. Great to hear about your adventures at MegaCon. Going to be at Heroes or Garden State? I am. I'm going to be at both. Hail, Vagabond. How's it going, brother? Yeah. So this was a fun trip. So then I'm making my way up, and I go stop for lunch with. Oh no, I did get into Georgia. That's right. No. MegaCon is huge. Most cons are like small. You want to find like there's a certain size of con I've found that works. Not every con is good. Sometimes small shows treat you really well, and sometimes small shows are just no one shows up, and you, even if you do really well compared to everyone else, you just can't. There's not enough to sell to make. But I always like make a profit, but it's just about trying to increase my level of profit. You know what I mean? Vaughn went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. Found a dude named Bat Sauce. Was looking to make a deal. Yeah, damn right. Except Bats wasn't in Georgia. He was in El MegaCon. Yeah. Those are good. Anyway, so I'm there. I'm at MegaCon. I'm in Georgia. I stopped in Georgia that night. The next day I drive. I get to Macon, where I get to hang out with Frega, Allie, and Vagabond. We grab lunch, we get pizza, and then that was fun. And then we go to a comic shop, quick meetup. And then from there, I drive as far up in the state. Georgia is a pretty big state. So I get like almost to the top of Georgia. I'm like, all right, that's enough driving for the day. And then I continue. I drive through Tennessee, all the way to Lexington, where we set up for the con that night. So that was on Wednesday when we met up, and then Thursday it was a Thursday night show. So I get into Lexington, hang out with Arza, and from there we set up at the show, and that's fun. That we set up, and immediately I start selling really well. This is just a preview night, so there's not that many people walking around, but the rate of sales is really good. You know, MegaCon, for context, there's so many people to pitch to, so you have to work 10 times as hard. But you get sales. You know, you're more likely to get sales if there's more people, but you also have to remember those people are pulled away by 18 other things. Lexington, it's a smaller crowd, but it's still a decent enough crowd where they're actually listening to you. They're not gonna just walk right past you. For the most part, some do, but like most of them, they're like actually more interested. So because of that, I'm like within my first day, I'm like, I'm gonna do really well at Lexington. Then my Saturday happens, then my Friday happens. I do really well. My Saturday, I think by the end of Saturday, I'm like, I was either on par with MegaCon. I've surpassed it or about to surpass it, but I'm like close. I'm like, dude, this is it. And then Sunday was a short day, but the Sunday there, maybe it was just I felt better on Sunday. You know, my Sunday at MegaCon, I was like exhausted because holy shit, that took a lot out of me. But my Sunday at Lexington, I'm like, this is the last leg of this trip. I'm getting as much as I can, and I sold a shitload of comics, and I definitely did better at Lexington than I did at MegaCon. It was a great show, and it turns out there's another Lexington show in September, so I can guarantee that I'll be back for that show. Also, I saw so much Mothman stuff, and it turns out Point Pleasant, it's a little off, but it was kind of on the way. But I'm like, I need to get back home. So I did seriously consider stopping and doing a trip at Mothman. I was looking into tours, and I'm like, no, this is a full day thing. I'm not just going to make a quick stop, look at the statue, and leave. If I'm going in Mothman, I'm going all in. So I am one day going to go back to West Virginia and really stop in Point Pleasant. But it was like 40 minutes off the highway that way. And I was like, no. I think it was 40 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. Anyway, I'm like, I can't. So I drive through Kentucky right after the con. Right after the con, I had been seeing Waffle Houses my whole way. Now, I don't really see those in New Jersey. Waffle Houses and Cracker Barrels. And I'm like, I'm stopping at both of those. Both of them. I hadn't yet at this point. Just every time I stopped, I had done Buc-ee's now twice, but I hadn't done that. Buc-ee's is good shit. But so I start driving, and I get, let's see what happened. Oh, we go to Waffle House, and I took the greatest picture. I had come up with the idea, I think, earlier in the day. Yeah. I come up with that idea earlier in the day for this picture, I think. I was seeing the imposing Waffle House thing, and I heard tales of the fights that take place there. And I knew what was going to happen. So I get there, and I have the cloud outfit in the back of my car. And so we go there. We have a really nice time. Waffle House is fucking good, dude. This shit's good. And I'm like, all right, quick, let's get this picture. So I get out, and I'm seeing the people watching from the... hold on a second. I'll take a look at this later. So we go there, and I'm like, get my stuff, and I'm seeing the people watching me from the window. Like, what is he doing? Like, the employees that are working there. And I get this picture. The greatest picture I have ever taken. I was like, Arza, you got to do this. My proudest. Absolutely. My best work. My finest. What can I say? And I'm like, on that note, we're going to drive as much as I can. And so I drive. I go until I pass West Virginia. Then I get into, I keep driving for as long as I can. Then I'm like, all right, I've hit my limit. Passing out now. I pass out. Because I'm like, I'm not driving a full 10 hours tomorrow, you know, whatever the fuck it was from Lexington. I'm like, I'm going to drive at least a couple of hours. And then that way I have less to drive tomorrow. And I hit a point, I'm like, all right, that's enough. I'm out. And then I wake up and I'm like, I'm not having breakfast until it's a Cracker Barrel. So I drive for however many minutes until I see Cracker Barrel. First Cracker Barrel I see. I pull off the road. Now, it turns out there are actually Cracker Barrels like in Pennsylvania and even like fairly not that far from my house comparatively. But I didn't know that. But certainly not as many as there are down there. They're like everywhere down south. But so I go and I get Cracker Barrel. That shit was fucking great. The environment was great. The service was fast, dude. They were like crazy. They're like, you ready to order? I'm like, I just sat down. I've never, you know, but it was good. It was a nice, homey. I do need to find a Southern wife, by the way. Just putting that out there. Anyway, it was great. And then I'm driving through the mountains, and of course, when I'm in West Virginia, I put on Country Roads. Of course, incredible song. How can you not? Country Road, take me home. Great song, excellent song. So I drive through, and then I drive through Maryland. And then I drive through Pennsylvania, and I forgot just how like diverse Pennsylvania is as a state, and just how, because I'm always seeing it as like that's where Philly is, and like I forget because I've now been to 2 different cons in Pennsylvania. I've been to one in Reading, and then one in Happy Valley, and I forget just like how huge Pennsylvania is and how it's mostly just farms. In Pennsylvania, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. And I was in a lot of southern states, which are, you know, more known for that. Gorgeous state. Like Pennsylvania is beautiful. Maryland, even when I drove through that was pretty. But because obviously Baltimore sucks. but like Maryland outside of it was good. And then Pennsylvania, beautiful state as I'm driving through it and all the farms and everything. And I'm like, man, I can see myself living here. And of course they say that, but then you realize how far away, because I'm like, oh, that house? I would love to live in somewhere like that. And then I'm realizing how far it is from civilization. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why more people don't. You know, it's going to be hard to commute to anything. But like, yeah, beautiful, beautiful area. And then I hit New Jersey and I'm like, well, this has been fun. I see it like slowly morph into like more building and less farm, and I'm like, and here the shittiest highway ever. Welcome back to New Jersey. Yay. And that's it. So that was a fun trip. That was really fun. Now I'm trying to think like, okay, so I'd have to make sure, to be fair, that whole booth thing, that is the one blight on the trip. Everything else about this was great, but I still did well. I'm still happy with it, and I have more shows to do. And while the last day, I get an email saying, Steel City Comic-Con, you're in. And I'm like, okay, so I feel bad. I'm going to have to tell OC Con, which was a small show in the library in Ocean City. I'm gonna have to probably turn them down because there's gonna be a big one in Pittsburgh. Oh, Heroin Burger, are you gonna be at Steel City? Because I'm gonna be there. They were the last Artist Alley table. They were like, hey, you want it? I'm like, shit, I was kind of committed to like a small 2-day one, but I'm like, but again, I'm business profit wise. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. It's a longer drive, but let's do it. I can make it work and I could sell more copies. Let's get this shit rolling. So that's exciting. So I'm taking a little break. I'm enjoying Easter. And then next month, which starts tomorrow, we're going to have the first week off. And then I'm going to do Steel City. And then I'm going to do Garden State Anime Fest. And then I'm going to do Level Up Expo. Good shows back to back to back. I can't wait. This has been fun. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And expect Phenomenova issue 4 soon. The only reason that it hasn't launched yet is not because it's not in a ready enough state. It's literally just because, and also, I'll be honest, I'm kind of tired. But here's the thing. I can rally. I can make it work. But I feel like the universe is telling me to take a break, Vaughn. Relax. You've earned it. You know? You need it. More importantly. Wait, why? What's fucked about Steel City? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So anyway, that's foreboding. Shit. I'll make it work. I feel bad because now I have other options, but I wanted to like come back in a big way. You know, after doing shows of this scale and moving books of this, you know, as many books as I have, I'm kind of like, I'm ready to. You want to just be selling as many as possible, you know. Yeah, for real, dude. I'm like, yeah, I'm excited that show sucks. I'll make it work. Yeah, issue 4, issue 3 is still like most of the orders have shipped out, but there's still some that haven't. I'm like, I can't. Even though it'd be better for me, I want it. Well, would it debatably? Because you want as many people to have read issue 3 before issue 4 goes live. Here's the thing. I'm trying to speed up the time between releases because I've had people actually at cons like Lexington. People came back and said, I read the books already. When is the next one? I'm like, issue 4 is starting soon. Also, the preview book says March 31st in there because it was supposed to be. I'm pissed that I wasn't able to get filled out in time, but you know, it wasn't enough Geminis. So then Gemini mailers should be back. It should be as soon as orders are shipped out. Expect it to launch as soon as this weekend is my hope. Phenomenova issue 4. Which is mostly done, by the way. Most of the art for Phenomenova issue 4 is done. And then from there, we're going to move into 5. 5 should already begin production by the time 4 is campaigning. So, this is exciting. 3, I'm going to talk about trying to get my artists to move faster or work with the schedule better because things are behind in ways they shouldn't be. Issue 4 was supposed to be done by now, but it's okay. You know, life, whatever. The point is, well, I'm annoyed by that. And it definitely means the colorist now has to ship things over and everything. I hate, like, we're going to have to talk about that. At least I know you guys aren't waiting after paying for the book. And that's what would be my biggest concern. I'm still annoyed on my end, but the book looks great. Thank you guys. And I'm also, most of the art is done, but I didn't have it colored for the trailer. So that's why the trailer is mostly using stuff 1, 2, and 3. There's plenty of cool shit for 4. In fact, the latest black and white pages I'm seeing, I'm like, fuck yeah. But my artist draws in sequential order. So, like, there's, like, the early action pages. There are some action pages in the middle, but a lot of, like, there's dialogue, whatever. But, like, the really cool trailer stuff is towards the end of the book. But if anything, that'll leave it as a nice surprise for you when you read it. And you'll like it. And issue 3 is my best. Yeah. All right, gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, I get it. But like comic centric shows, you know, at the end of the day, most normies, I'm trying to get my books in as many hands as possible, whether they've read a comic before or not. I get it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out. Have a great rest of your day. Going to play the issue 4 trailer, and I might go watch some Invincible or read some Rippaverse books. By the way, yeah, apparently my latest crime is promoting my friends, apparently, but who cares? I had a good time, and you guys are the absolute best. Thank you so much for joining it. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, I had to send out some preview books today. The preview book, by the way, the MegaCon preview book is selling out. It should be done. So here's the thing. Even though I didn't have that central spot because it was supposed to sell like that at MegaCon, still sold, like, don't have that many left. So if you want the preview book for issue 4, make sure to check it out. I'm going to put the link in the chat as I play the outro. See you guys. Have a great rest of your day.
My name is Miles Hanksley. I am Galvanite. My names are synonymous with failure because that's all they know. They don't know how hard I've worked since the reactor. Today, I will prove that I'm not a failure. I am worthy of joining Phenomenova.